Okay guys, welcome back to Free on 4. This is the first of a number of episodes detailing a wonderful adventure into East Africa. Here we drive about 2,500 k's up to the Bangweulu Wetlands of Zambia in the hope of finding the Shoebill. Shame, leaving these guys behind at home is really tough. They don't know what we're doing, they just think they're being shafted.
All those poor sods going off to work.
Anyway, we got up early and hit the early morning traffic.
Morning.
We met at the petrol fort just outside Pretoria.
You, lekker man.
And a quick cup of coffee in Moli. On the way to Valwater, we even picked up a little bit of rain. What's that going to do to the Stockport Road? We arrived to a very quiet Stockport border post and then over the Limpopo River. Luckily, this stretch of dirt road, about 30 k's, wasn't muddy at all. We arrived at Woodlands and spirits were high. We had our whole trip lying ahead of us. The wood we bought in Lepelali was absolute junk, so we battled a bit to light our fire. But anyway, with a bit of persistence, we came right. Leaving Woodlands early in the morning, and it was somebody's birthday.
Hey everyone, so it's my birthday and everyone sent me such nice messages today, which Richard kindly gathered up and presented to me this morning along with a couple of really nice letters. So thanks to everyone. As you can see, we're on a very bumpy tar road.
A quick stop off at Nata Lodge, and then we decided to poke our noses in at Elephant Sands to see if we were lucky enough to find the elephants at the waterhole. And there they were. It's really special to get so close up to these animals. Just sit and watch them interacting for hours. Watching the hierarchy play itself out here. And they're all squabbling for the fresh water. They don't want to go and drink water out of the horrible Poof Dam. This fresh squirt of water out the pipe is much better. We couldn't stay there all afternoon. We had a border to cross. Over the bridge at Kazangula and onto the Zambian border crossing, which was terrible. But anyway, we arrived at Camp Nkwazi as it was getting dark, and we had a birthday to celebrate. Camp Nkwazi had pulled out all the stops for us.
Happy birthday to you.
Apparently Vic Falls was pumping and we had to go and take a look. Parking in the parking lot with these baboons, they're cheeky buggers, eh? You opened up my bag of charcoal thinking it was probably potatoes. But just look at that water. I've never seen it as full as that. The spray was hectic and the girls decided to take raincoats. Phil and I decided that we wanted the full experience and we got soaked. How's the special sighting of this little guy that we saw in the bushes? Quick stop on the way back for a Mozzie beer, one of the local beers, and then a drive through town. Livingston's actually quite a neat little town compared to all the other towns that we were to drive through. That's the ShopRite that we use, and it's got a wonderful selection of stuff. You can probably buy just about anything you want, including your beers. And the campsite was just fantastic. We had our own ablution block, little wash-up station. Thing works on a donkey geyser, which works exceptionally well. And as you can see, all nicely grassed. The sites are a good distance from each other, but we were only one of two groups in the whole place. This little bridge over the lily pond is on the way between the campsites and the deck. Oh, really pretty. The bird watching from the deck over the Zambezi was fantastic. We could have sat there the whole day. I'm sure we added at least 20 birds to our bird list just from sitting at the deck. Please remember, if you're enjoying these videos, just like and subscribe. And if you want to ask us anything, just drop us a comment. We actually planned to stay 2 nights, which we did.
Good morning.
The next morning was up early, as we had about 480 k's to drive to just before Lusaka. But the notorious number of trucks, bad driving, scenes of carnage and poor road conditions made for an 8.5-hour journey. So far, I've yet to see what's great about the Great North Road. These little informal markets are fantastic. It's great to stop, get involved and buy something from them. You'll be really surprised at the lovely fresh fruit and vegetables that they sell. And then crossing over the Great Kafui River. I mean, this river is probably one of the nicest rivers I've seen so far in my life. Then Margie joined the adventure. She'd just been on a trip to Mana Pools. The traffic jam in Lusaka the next morning was just crazy. Look at that litter. You think our litter's banned in Joburg? And we didn't struggle to find low sulfur diesel on the entire trip. After about a 6-hour drive, we arrived at Forest Inn. It has a really nice little campsite under the trees with its own little off-duck. And Margie managed to lure a visitor into her tent. We recorded our micro moments every day and we'll share a few with you. Goodbye Forest Inn. And back on the Great North Road with these damn trucks. Guys, if you're going to do this trip, you've got to get this through your heads. The trucks are part of the jolly. So you've got to just roll with it. And yeah, don't get uptight. These guys are here to stay. Sections of tar road were just like no tar. And these fresh fruit markets again, I mean, yeah, we stopped here and bought some wonderful stuff. Really nice, well priced. These toll gates, which you'll see many in Zambia, all 20 kwacha.
Morning.
And you've got to have your road tax
Okay,
certificate with you, and which they stamp. And you've got to hand back at the border when you go back home. You see that Nakonde to Mfui? Be sure to put your correct route on there, because if they find you on a route that's not mentioned there, you are liable to get a fine. Then at last we could turn off this cuck North Road and onto the dirt road off to Bangweulu. About 100 k's of dirt, and yeah, it was quite a pleasant drive, but far. A piece of once overutilized but now very much underutilized road working equipment.
Look at that, my word.
And then we thought, oh, we've arrived, but it was still 2.5 hours from this gate to the campsite. But anyway, we were progressing, and the local population were enthralled with us. I mean, they were so curious. This guy, old Forment, was very, very friendly and proud. I think he said he worked there for something like 25 or 30 years. You see, as we get closer and closer to the destination, all the roads are slightly raised because this whole place will flood in the wet season. And there we are at last at our campsite. Wow, this is all for us. That's the ablution block, which is really first class. And just look at that vista. We felt like we were the only people in the world. great excitement. We'd arranged for tomorrow for the Makoras to take us deep into the swamps, hopefully for a glimpse of the Shoebill. So we got up quite early and we met the Makora polers and our excellent guide Webby at a pre-arranged spot. And just look at those black lectuary. We'd heard about the endemic black lectuary of Bangweulu, but we hadn't expected to see them on this kind of scale. And this is the only place that you can find them. Just look how beautiful that chap is. Although these water here, it's too shallow for the Makoras to carry us all, so we had to walk and then use the Makoros as a bridge in the areas where the raised causeway had been broken open. But at last we were in our Makoros and we were off to see what we could find. These guys were just local game rangers, but I still don't like seeing them. We're carrying AK-47s. And local traders selling just about anything, mattresses, bicycles. Fishing is allowed in Bangweulu at certain times of the year. They keep quite a strict control over it. Because obviously a lot of the wildlife depends on the fish. It looks like Phil has spotted something. What you got there, boy? These lily ponds are fantastic. Look how clear that water is. You can just dip your hand in and scoop a mouthful. And the birds we saw were just next level. African Parks has taken over the running of this place and it looked pretty slick from our perspective.
Wow, what's circling over
Wow, wow.
Huh?
Correct.
That's what we've driven 2,500 k's to look at.
Construction ticket.
Okay, yeah, sure, it would have been better if it had been standing on papyrus at 3-4 meters away, but this is good enough for us. Easily have come all this way and not seen it at all. Bangweulu Wetlands is the southernmost range for shoebills, where only a few hundred individuals still exist. Closely related to the pelican. People say they look like dinosaurs. The shoebill has a bill that can grow up to 24 centimeters long and 9 centimeters wide. It's razor sharp along the outside and can easily decapitate a fish or a small crocodile. They make a strange machine gun-like clacking noise with their bill. African parks are doing a great job with the conservation efforts of the species. Their nest protection and captive rearing and rehab center focuses on getting the second egg to hatch and eventually be released back into the wild. This involves turning the egg 3 times a day for 30 days. And a lot of effort is then taken to prevent the young birds from imprinting on their human carers. We stopped in at the rehab center and met Maggie. Understandably though, the facility is not open to the public, but she did give us permission to use some of her amazing pics. And how's this little chap? A lantern bug, also known as a trumpeter weevil. And that's how tall a shoebill is. Then back to camp. Today had certainly delivered. We'd come with certain expectations and we're leaving having been rewarded with so much more than we bargained for. It ticked every single box that we had. It was fantastic. Up early the next morning and off on the next leg of the adventure, which would take us to Ruaha National Park. Be sure to be on the lookout for the next video. Some lovely footage coming there. If there's any detail or part of this trip that you would like more information on, don't hesitate to drop me a comment and we'll reply for sure.
All ready and waiting to go.
Cheers, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah,
We'd only
go on,
completed 6
Thank
nights
you.
of our 50-night trip. We had a long
Bye.
way to go. Before you go, please just like and subscribe. Thanks guys, until next time.